Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Manish. Good evening, Shiv.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, so good evening once again. Welcome all of you. So today we are on the fourth session, and today we will look at how to create accounting entries using single entry mode, which should be much more simpler to do than what we were doing yesterday using double entry mode. So we will do one thing. So we will look at the same transactions and do this transaction using single entry mode. So before we get into it, I want to understand from each one of you, were you clear on yesterday's examples, or do you have any questions or queries on any of the examples that we dealt yesterday? We actually did some 11, we took some 11 different scenarios of business transaction, and we tried to cover all kinds of transaction with respect to accounting. So is there any queries or questions, or do you want to have any clarifications on those examples? Because today also we will be dealing with the same examples, okay, and seeing how to do this transaction on a single entry mode. So if you have any questions, this is the time that you could ask for. Vasant Kumar, need an example with entry which has TDS. Okay, we'll look into it, sir. Now we will look into it that today. So any other clarifications, any other questions that you have? Okay. So if you have any questions, either you could unmute and ask the question, or you could put it on the chat so that we don't miss any of your questions. Fine. So as every day, the purpose is very clear. Okay, we want all of you to learn Tally Prime and typically become masters of this product, and you should actually help in your wherever you are working or in your business to see how Tally can help to increase efficiency and eliminate duplication of work. So this is the purpose in which we are driving this training. Okay, so in yesterday's session, we took different business scenarios and created vouchers on a double entry mode. And in today's session, we will take the same transactions and make entries on a single entry mode and see the difference and see how simple we can make it in Tally to perform this transaction. So how do you set up a single entry mode in Tally? Very simple. So let me just take you to Tally. Okay, I have just opened Tally, the same company in which we were working yesterday. Only thing that you need to do is when you go to voucher entry, now say example on payment, I'm on a double entry mode, which is showing me debit and credit basically. To go to single entry mode, on the right hand side, you have an option called change mode. Click on change mode and switch on to single entry mode. Okay, so this is how you can switch on. So on the voucher, you need to just click on change mode and switch on to single entry mode. In few of the transaction, it will show a single entry mode. In transactions like purchase and sales, rather than single entry mode, it will show you as invoice, as accounting invoice. Say example, I'm on purchase, rather than single entry, it is telling me list of modes and usage as invoice. Say example, if I go to sales, it will show me the same thing. Change mode, it will show me as accounting invoice or voucher. Voucher means double entry. Accounting invoice means single entry. But in other transactions like payment receipts, journal, it will show as either you want to use single entry mode or you want to change it to double entry. Okay. Fine. So let's do one thing. So we had created few transactions yesterday, right? So how do you check what are all the transactions you have created? One way of checking is you could just go to daybook. It will show what is the transactions that you have done for a particular day. That's for the last date in your books of accounts. Here you could just click on F2, Alt F2, shortcut key, and say from date to to date. From date is 1st April 21, to date is 2nd May. So these are all the transactions that you have done. Alternatively, you could just click on go to and type statistics. Click on statistics. It will show you the complete transactions that you have done under different voucher types and the total of 11 transactions you have done and how many ledgers, how many groups are there in this data. So now, if there are all this transaction, now you need to, so first let us delete all this transaction and do it again. So to delete transaction in Tally, how do you do it? Simple. You could just go to the transaction. Say example, I want to delete this debit note. I'm sorry. Go to this debit note, open this debit note. To delete a transaction, the shortcut key is Alt D. Alt D for delete. Sorry, excuse me, just give me 1 minute. Yeah, Alt D for delete. If you just press yes, so this transaction is deleted. You can never get that transaction back. So now example, I'm just showing once more. I could just go to the transaction in any mode. I could go through daybook or I could go through statistics or I could go through the ledger report, wherever. Okay, then just either open this transaction or take your cursor to that entry and click on Alt D. It will ask, do you want to delete? Yes. It goes out of your database. You can never retrieve it back. It has just deleted. Okay. I will show you one more. So now if there are multiple transactions, say example, I'll say from 1st April to 2nd May. Okay, so now there are 9 transactions. I want to delete last 5. So what I could do is I could select multiple transactions. So to select a transaction in Tally, you need to just press this space bar. So example, I'm just pressing this space bar. So now I have selected 4 transactions. So you could see these 4 transactions are in blue color. And again, click on Alt D. It's saying delete selected. Yes. All these 4 transactions have got deleted. Okay. Now, if you want to select all the transactions which you are seeing on the screen, the shortcut key is Control space bar. If you just press on Control space bar, it will select all the transactions that is available on that specific report. Okay, so on one click, you could do one thing. You could say, example, I'll just go to daybook and I'll say from 1st April to last date of the transaction. There are 5 transactions. I want to delete all the 5. Just press Control space bar. All the 5 got selected. Alt D, delete. Yes, it has got deleted. So the shortcut key for delete is Alt D for single transaction. If you want to select multiple transaction, you could press this space bar and select multiple transaction and delete. Or if you want to delete all the transaction which you are seeing in that report, you need to just press Control space bar. It will select all the transaction and press Alt D. It gets deleted. Okay, it is very simple to delete in Tally. Okay, so that is the way that you could delete all the transactions. So now I've deleted all the transaction. Now on the gateway of Tally, if you look at it, it says no vouchers entered. Okay, if you go to statistics, it says 0 transaction. All right. So I've deleted all the transactions. So now let us go back and do all this transaction on a single entry mode. So to change, as I showed you, okay, you can go to change mode and select either the accounting invoice or single entry mode. So the same example, same 11 examples that we are taking again today. On 1st of April, Rama invested 10 lakhs to start a new business. He gave check for 10 lakhs rupees from his personal account. The check was deposited to State Bank of India. So it's a receipt entry, right? It's a receipt entry. I need to go to F6 and do the entry. So let me just look at. So on gateway of Tally, V for voucher, F6 for receipt, shortcut key. I'm on receipt. Now I can just go change the mode and I'm on single entry mode. Now in the single entry mode, what happens is you will enter only one side of the transaction value. Say example, if you look at here, debit State Bank of India and credit Rama Capital account. So what it does is now there is some intelligence that is built in the system. Okay, so the date, first thing, let me just change the date. It is 1st of April 21. Okay, so in the receipt, what is happening? Money is coming to State Bank of India. So in the account, I need to select bank account. So it is listing out all the accounts which are there, cash and bank. Because since it's a receipt, now some intelligence are built here. So it says receipt can come either through cash or bank. That's all. No other ledgers are required over here. So I'm just taking which is the debit ledger over here and which is the credit ledger, Rama account, which is list is there. I'm just selecting Rama account and giving the value 10 lakh rupees, right? And the check number, okay, this check details and all I need to enter. I'm just saying being capital invested to start new business. So now save this. You could just click on page up. Now it is showing you. Okay. Page up. One second. Voucher. One second. Just hold on. Okay. So the current date has gone to 2nd May. Okay. So now when I click on this voucher, page up. So this is the transaction we have performed. Okay. So this is single entry mode. It was very simple, right? I just selected how did I get this money? I got money to my bank or cash. Where did I take this? And who gave this money to me? That's it. I need not worry what should get debited, what should get credited, nothing. But internally, once when I save this transaction, internally it has got debited and credited, it has done all those things. Say example, if you just change this mode for this transaction and go to double entry mode. Yesterday, this is what we did. Credit Rama account and debit State Bank of India. This same transaction, when you are doing it on a single entry mode, okay, it becomes very simple for you to perform this. So in a receipt, always money is coming in. So it has to come to my either to my bank or to my cash account. That is what I need to specify. And then I need to specify from whom I got this money. That's it. And say what is the value and update all the details, narration, and the transaction is done. Is it simple enough? Here I need not worry debit, credit, what is the golden rule, what comes in, what goes out, all those things. I need not even really worry about it. Because it's a lot of intelligence is built. So once when you go to account here, it will show only your cash and bank. It will not even show any other account. So as a user, you don't miss any of the things. And once when you come to particulars over here, okay, so here it will not show your cash and bank account. So there is no mistakes that you could do. right? Okay, fine. So we have passed one entry. Okay, today I will not show you the reports since currently I'm showing it to you. Okay, otherwise the reports remains the same. Yesterday as we saw the reports and all remains the same. There will not be any difference in the reports. Okay, so that will help us to do the transaction. Hope this is clear with all of you. Let me go to the second scenario. Second scenario is on 1st of April 21, landlord Venkatesh submitted invoice number 005 dated 1st of April 21 for 20,000 rupees towards office rent for the month of April. Rent attracts 18% GST to be paid before 10th of May 2021. So what kind of voucher it is? It is a journal entry. Okay, and in the transaction, if you read this scenario, okay, so there are some of the calculations that you need to do because the rent is 20,000. It says there is a GST of 18% and it's a local intra-state transaction. Okay, so all those things that you need to keep in mind. Okay. So the transaction type is journal. Yes, the transaction type is journal. The date of transaction is 1st of April. So debit office rent, debit input CGST, debit input SGST, and credit Venkatesh landlord. So these are the transactions that we need to do. So this transaction, when we are doing journal, it remains the same. There is no single entry, double entry mode in journal because journal might have single debit, multi credits, multi debit, single credit, multi debits, and multi credits. Possibilities are there. So specifically for journal, there is no possibility of doing it on a single mode, single entry mode. So journal, you have to go through double entry mode only. So here you will not have any other choice. Okay, so you are entering the reference, the supplier bill number. Okay, debit office rent, 20,000 rupees. Debit input CGST 9%. See, here since the ledger is created, you need not go and again create the ledger because yesterday when we are passing this entry, we clicked on Alt C and created the ledger also. So that ledger is already available. Okay, 9% is 1800. Debit input SGST at 9%, 1800. Credit Venkatesh landlord. See here, it's automatically took to Venkatesh landlord. 23,600 and here the bill wise details because if you look at this example, if you read the example, it has to be paid before 10th of May and the bill is given on 1st of April. So 40 days of credit is available. So here due by next 40 days. So by 11th of May, it becomes overdue. Being office rent bill accounted. Okay, clear on this? Now, if you want to go and look at the various reports, you could go to Alt G for go to and type trial balance. So here there is an indirect expense, office rent, which has automatically taken. And in current liabilities, there is sundry debtors of 23,600 to be paid to Venkatesh. And when it comes to duties and taxes, there is an input tax which is debit value of 3,600. Okay, so similarly, you could go to profit and loss. Now there is a loss of 20,000 because we don't have any purchases or sale. There is a loss of 20,000 because there is an expense of 20,000. Office rent has been booked. To that extent, there is a loss. Or if you want to look at balance sheet, again, you could go to and click on balance sheet. Okay, so in balance sheet, there is one capital account and in current assets, there is the value under your bank accounts, bank and cash, and current liability of 30,000. 33,600 minus 3,600, which is input tax credit. And there's a loss of 20,000. Hope this is clear. Okay, let's go to transaction number 3. On 2nd of April, withdrew 10,000 from State Bank of India for office expenses. So now this is, what kind of transaction is this? This is contra entry. So contra is basically where the fund transfer is happening. Either you are withdrawing money or you are depositing money to bank, or withdrawing money from bank, or you are transferring money from one bank to another bank. In those cases, you need to use contra, right? So let me just go to contra, click on F4, contra, and now I'm on single entry mode. Okay, in single entry mode, now I need to select what is the transaction effectively. If you take what debits, what credit, if you know. Okay, so I'm just, since the cash is getting withdrawn, so I'm just selecting cash, and from where I'm withdrawing, State Bank of India, 10,000 rupees. How did I withdraw? So there is no specification. I just says withdrew. Okay, I've taken the check and I'm withdrawing with instrument number 100001. Okay, being cash withdrawn from bank. So here I just got money, 10,000 rupees, withdrew it. I'm just selecting the cash and saying from which bank I withdrew that money, and I'm just saving. So now again go back to balance sheet. You could see here in current assets, cash has gone up by 10,000 and bank had got reduced by 10,000. So now bank value is 10 lakh and cash is 10,000. Right? So this is the contra entry. Effect at your ledger level. Okay. Hope this is clear with you. So now let's go to the next transaction. Transaction number 4. On 2nd of April, purchase goods worth 50,000 from Kotari Electronics on credit. The goods are charged at 12% GST. His invoice number is 072, dated 1st of April. What transaction is this? This is purchase transaction, right? No, Shrank, this is purchase transaction. This is a purchase. Okay. So the transaction type is purchase. So this is what we saw, debit, credit, various things. Now let us look at how to do that in a simple invoicing format. So let me just go to first purchase. Now, since in the mode I am on accounting invoice, see now here the screens have really changed. What is the supplier invoice number? So it is giving me the information 072. What is the date? So now the transaction date is 2nd of April and the supplier invoice date was 1st of April. Who is the supplier? Party name. It is showing, it is asking you the party name. So I know who is the party from whom I am purchasing. Kotari Electronics. So additional details like your receipt number, various things that you could update. Then Kotari Electronics, his address, his PAN, his GST number, all those things are available. And to which ledger I need to take? It's a purchase, right? So I have got local purchase at 12%. That is what it says. The goods are charged at 12% GST. So I've just created one ledger called local purchase at 12%. What is the value? Value is 50,000. 50,000. Now to this, I need to add tax, input tax. Since it's a local purchase, intra-state purchase, there is CGST and SGST, right? So I'm just typing here input CGST at 6%. See here, it has automatically calculated. I need not even calculate and say what is the amount. But if you are doing it on a double entry mode, you have to calculate and type the amount. The system will not take automatically. But here, it is automatically picking the values. Example, input SGST at 6%, 300 rupees. Okay, so sorry, this should have been 50,000, not 5,000. So let me just change it to 50,000. Now you see here, input tax, CGST and SGST, it automatically changed to 3,000 and 3,000. I didn't even type. Okay, this is what I need to do. Okay, and I could give additional GST details if there is any various details that I want to give, or I could just say give the credit days. Here there is no credit days that is mentioned. Let me just say 10 days of credit being purchase bill accounted. Right? So this is what I did the transaction. Sorry. This is the transaction that I did, where the input tax values are auto calculated on a single entry or an invoice mode. So I need not really worry what is the value. I need to just cross check whether has he charged the right value or not. Okay. Is that clear? Now if I go to P&L, my purchase have got updated. Still I don't have any sale. So I have a loss of 70,000. 50,000 of purchase and 20,000 of expense. So let us go to the next transaction. Transaction 5. On 2nd of April 21, sold goods worth 70,000 to Balaji agencies on credit. The goods are charged at 18%. What is the nature of transaction that we need to have? Nature of voucher? It is sales. Yes, it's a sale entry. Okay, so let us just go to tally. Now we are on, what is the date of the transaction? It's on 2nd of April. Voucher type is sales. I'm just clicking on sales. Now, to whom am I selling? So here in the example, to whom am I selling? I am selling to Balaji agencies. So select Balaji agencies, party name is Balaji agencies. Give all additional details like delivery document number, dispatch details, destination, various things. Okay. And Balaji agencies details will appear along with this GST number. Then since I'm making a sale and I'm not maintaining any inventory over here, I need to select ledger, sales ledger. So I'll just select local sales. Okay. Value is 70,000 sales. Now to this, what I need to do, I need to configure output tax, and it's an intra-state, so it attracts CGST, SGST. So I'll just select output CGST at 9%. See, it has calculated automatically 6,300. Then again output SGST at 9%. Has calculated 6,300. It's very simple to do. I need not really worry. So additional GST details, if I have the e-way bill details, all those things that I could give over here. Okay. From place, all these things that I could mention. Okay, so all these details you could update and Example, I'm giving 15 days of credit. By 17th, I need to get this money. Being sales invoice created. Okay. Now what is going to happen to my reports? If I go to P&L, profit and loss, I have a sale of 70,000. I have purchase of 50,000. I have an expense of 20,000. So my net profit is 0. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sir,
So let's,
show me the invoice, sir, how it looks like when you print.
yeah, we'll come to that, sir. We'll come to that.
Yeah.
Just give the time. We'll come to that.
Sorry. Okay.
Okay. So let's go to the next transaction. On transaction number 6, on 1st of May, received check for rupees 70,800 from Balaji Agencies against invoice bill number 1. The check was deposited on the same day to State Bank of India. What voucher will you create in Tally Prime? What voucher this represents? Yes. Shivu, you are correct. Frank, you are correct. It is receipt transaction. Okay. Fine. So let's go to Tally. Voucher. Date is 1st of May 21. Voucher type is receipt. Change it to receipt. 1st of May. So now, how did you receive this money? In form of check. And the check was deposited on same day to the State Bank of India bank account. So here, what is the account that you need to take? State Bank of India. Now, from whom did you receive this money? Balaji Agencies. How much money you received? 70,800. Now, once when you click on 70,800, it is asking for the bill-wise adjustment. See here in the example, we have received this money against sale invoice number 1. Okay, so here in the against reference, you will get that invoice number 1, dated 2nd of April, total balance is 82,600, out of which we are receiving only 70,800 partial money. How did we receive? We received through check. Check number you could update, and bank. From which bank he has given? He has given from ICICI Bank. Being bill amount received. I'm just giving an explanation for this transaction. Is this clear? So I'm on 1st May. Okay, so let me just change the date to, change the date to 1st of May. So this is the transaction we did. Okay. Now what is going to happen to my P&L? There is no change in P&L because nothing of the profit and loss ledgers have got affected. In balance sheet, yes, it makes changes. In my current assets, my bank value has gone up. To that extent, my sundry debtors value has come down. Balaji Agencies, earlier it was 82,600. Now it is 11,800. Okay. Let's go to transaction 7. On 1st of May 21, paid 50,400 rupees to Kothari Electronics through check against purchase reference invoice number 027. What voucher we would like to pass here? The transaction type will be payment. Okay. So I'm going to voucher, clicking on FI payment. Date is 2nd of May 21. So when you are making payment, how are you making payment? You are making payment through check. Since we have only one bank account, okay, we will use the same bank account, right? So we use State Bank of India. To whom are we paying? We are paying to Kotari Electronics, right? Because they are our suppliers. How much money we paid? We paid 50,400. Now, once when I click on 50,400, now it is asking for against reference. So, against which bill number you are paying. So, it will list out all the bills if there are multiple bills. In this example, there is only one single bill of 072, which was dated 2nd of April. 56,000 is pending amount to be paid, out of which we are paying only 50,400. Okay, we are paid through check. So, it has taken check number, the last check number being payments made to supplier. Okay, clear on this? Okay, so now let's go to transaction 8. On 2nd of May, paid electricity bill of rupees 530 by cash. So what transaction will be applicable over here? Yes, it's payment transaction, not the journal transaction. Because here we are making the payment directly. See, the transaction says on 2nd of May, paid electricity bill for 530 rupees. That's it, by cash. So whenever there is an involvement of cash or bank, either it should be receipt or payment or contra. It cannot be journal. Okay, so in this case, it is payment transaction. Okay, so we'll just go to voucher and tally. It is on 2nd of May, paid through cash. So select cash. Why are you paying this? For electricity bill. So it is electricity expenses, 530 rupees. So it's a direct expenditure. Being electricity expenses for April 21 paid. Right? Okay, so now what is going to happen to my reports? If I go to reports, balance sheet, there is no there is change because your cash has got reduced by 530 rupees. And if you go to your profit and loss, your expenses have increased by 530 rupees because electricity comes under expenses. That has got increased by 530 rupees. So your loss has gone up. Okay, net loss has gone up. Now net loss has become 530. Earlier it was 0. Right? Okay. Let's go to transaction number 9. On 2nd of May 2021, paid April 2021 office rent to Venkatesh against invoice number 5 through online bank transfer. What voucher will you enter in Tally Prime? So how are we paying this? So what are we doing? We are paying office rent. How are we paying this? We are paying through online bank transfer. So bank is involved. State Bank of India is involved. To whom are you paying? To the landlord, Venkatesh. Okay. So it's very simple. So on 2nd of May, you need to do a transaction of payment. Go to voucher, V for voucher on Gateway of Tally. So you are already on payment. Which date? 2nd of May. How are you paying? Paying through State Bank of India. To whom are you paying? Venkatesh, landlord. How much money you are paying? Here, I don't think we have mentioned any money over here. We are just saying against bill number 5, we are making payment. Means we are paying full against that bill. So what was the bill value? You could configure before entering the amount in Tally, if you want to know what is the bill value, see here, I don't know what is the bill value. Though it is showing current balance as 23,600, I don't know it is from one single bill or multiple bills. So what I could do is, there is one configuration in Tally where you could configure. You could just click on F12 on payment, configure, and here you get an option called pre-allocate bills for payment receipts and journal. If you look at here, look here, pre-allocate bills for payment receipts and journal. If you make it as yes, it's currently no, make it as yes. Okay. Now once you have made it as yes and select to whom you are making the payment, it will not take you to the amount value versus it will take you to the bill wise details. Because I am clearing the bill irrespective of the amount. Okay, so now first it will show you the bill. You could select which bill you are paying. So in this case, bill number 5, and it has automatically picked the value also. You need not even type the value. It will just take what is the balance that you are supposed to pay. Enter that. So your amount is auto-filled. You need not even go and fill that amount. Okay, and now how are you transferring? You are transferring through online bank transfer. Since you have saved the bank account details of Venkatesh, that bank account details are also automatically picked from the master, and you need to just give the UTR reference number over here. Okay, this example, I am just saying UTR reference number, 2nd of May, rent for April 2021 paid. Is it clear? So what we are doing is very simple. We are going to the transaction. On the transaction, if you want to settle bill by bill, irrespective of the value, then you could go to F12. I'm just showing you once again for the benefit. And you could enable pre-allocate bills for payment receipts and journal. Make it as yes. Once when you make this as yes, before getting into your amount value, it will automatically take to bill wise details. Hope this is clear. Okay. Now, let's go to the next transaction. On 2nd of May, return goods to Kotari Electronics worth 5,000 rupees supplied against invoice number 27. Which voucher will you pass? So here you also need to read this statement properly. Worth 5,000. So the value of the goods is 5,000. So that goods had also had a tax portion to it. Okay, so it was charged at 12% tax. So you need to also reverse the tax. It's a debit note. Yes, it's a debit note entry because it's a purchase return. So on Tally, go to vouchers. 2nd of May. The transaction was on 2nd of May, right? Yes. And what is the shortcut key for debit note? Alt F5. You could just go to other vouchers, you will get Alt F5, debit note. Now you are issuing debit note to whom? You are issuing debit note to Kotari Electronics. Okay. You could also do one more thing over here. You could go to F12 and enable details like provide original invoice details. So here that is enabled. Okay, so since you have enabled it, it will automatically ask for the original invoice details. Do not worry about it. If that is not enabled, please take care of that. In your debit note, ensure that provide original invoice details. It should be enabled. So Kotari Electronics. Okay, so here you get here. Original invoice number. What's the original invoice number? 027. Dated 1st of April 21. Okay, so to which account you need to take? It is typically purchase returns. Either you could credit the purchase ledger directly or you could take it to purchase returns account. Okay, so it is showing you the purchase returns over here. Okay, take it to purchase returns. Value is 5,000. Then you also need to reverse tax because you had paid input tax for this 5,000 also. Since you are returning the material, you have an option to even to reverse this tax. In this example, I'm just for simplicity purpose. Okay. Otherwise, looking at how the GST gets impacted, I'm just reversing input tax credit at 6%, 300 rupees. Input tax credit at SGST at 6%, 300 rupees. It's 5,600. Now, when you enter the additional GST details, it is asking reasons for issuing the note. What is the reason? Is it returns or is it post purchase discount or it's deficiency in services? What reason? Why this debit note is raised? Okay, so example, it is return. So I'm just taking it as returns. Now we need to give the supplier credit note number, on which date he had passed the credit note. You have to give those details also. And all other details need to follow so that your transaction is complete. Now it is asking for against reference. So against which bill it has to get adjusted? Bill number 72. Now look at this bill number 72, 5,600 rupee got adjusted, being debit note raised. Okay, hope this is clear. Okay, let us take the next transaction. Okay, before getting into next transaction, we'll just look at report. If I go to P&L, profit and loss, I have purchase return separately minus 5,000. So now purchase has become 45,000 because I had the returns. To that extent, my profit and loss have also got adjusted. So now my net profit has become 4,470. Earlier it was loss of 530 rupees. So to that extent, it has got adjusted. Similarly, in my balance sheet, if I look at my current liability, my current liability of sundry creditors, that has automatically completed so that you don't see any Kotari Electronics over here because this account has become zero.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yeah, please tell me.
Sir, earlier when we made the payment to Kotari Electronics, we had paid with the calculated GST amount, right?
Right.
So now if we are getting back if we are returning the goods, if you're paying again, if you are paying the GST amount, isn't it double entry, double calculate, double time? We will be paying it twice, right?
No. See, we are not passing a payment entry. We passed a debit note. In debit note, what we did was we have reversed the tax that we had paid.
Okay.
This is the reversal entry. So my input tax have got credited here. In my original purchase entry, say example, I'll just show you. If you go to Kotari Electronics ledger, go to display more reports, accounts book, ledger, Kotari Electronics. So what is your purchase?
56,000. That
50,000 rupees. On that you had paid 6,000 rupees as GST.
correct.
Right?
Right.
Now this is where you need to really look at. So if for understanding purpose, I'll show it to you. If you change it as voucher mode, so your input tax have got debited
Correct.
to extent of 3,000 and 3,000.
Okay.
Okay. Now what we did, we passed one debit note entry to reverse 5,000 rupees, saying that the goods is damaged.
Okay.
So now what we have done is here, the input tax CGST and SGST have got credited.
Okay. Okay. So the balance will be lessened by that much amount, 5,600.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
See, that is the beauty when you start using a single entry mode. The system will recognize what to debit and what to credit. As a
Okay.
user, I need not worry.
Okay. So effectively, in that 56,000, 5,600 will be reduced, and the rest we'll have to
Yeah.
whatever payment. Okay.
Right. See, that is what we have done. See, on this value, okay, so this was my purchase value 56,000. I paid only 50,400 rupees.
Okay. Okay.
And balance 5,600, I have passed a debit note for that.
Okay.
So my account for Kotari has become zero now. There is no
Okay.
further liability.
Okay. Right, sir. Right. Understood. Thank you.
Okay. So it's an input reversal. Okay. So now let us go to the last transaction. This is the last transaction. On 2nd of May, our customer Balaji Agencies returned goods worth 10,000 rupees as goods were damaged. What entry you are going to pass in your books of accounts? Like we returned the goods to our supplier, my customer is returning goods back to me saying it is damaged. So the transaction that you are passing will be credit note. Yes, it will be credit note. So let us go to Tally. So to pass credit note, I need to go to vouchers. On Gateway of Tally, click on V, shortcut key for voucher. Okay, Alt F6 is the shortcut key for credit note. So you need not go to voucher, other vouchers, click on credit note, all those things you need not worry. Just press Alt F6 on your keyboard. That is the shortcut key for credit note. Okay, date is 2nd of May. Date remains the same. To whom are you issuing credit note? Balaji Agencies. You could give all additional details. So here you could also give original invoice number 1. 2nd of April 21, original invoice number and date. So Balaji Agencies details gets popped up. Now you are taking back the sale what you did. So it is sales return. Okay, so the ledger is sales return, extent of 10,000 rupees. Now you are supposed to reverse the tax also because you have collected the tax on this. Since he is returning the goods saying I'm not used it, it is damaged, the tax also needs to be reversed. So I am reversing output CGST 9%, output SGST 9%. Give the details, reasons for issuing the note. It is deficiency in service or post-sale discount or whatever it is, I'm saying it is sales return. Okay, so customer debit note number 12 on 1st of May 21 he has taken. Against, so here again it will show against invoice number 1, 11,800 being credit notes raised. Okay, so now if I look at my P&L, under sales I have sales return of 10,000. So my effective sale is 60,000. To that extent, it has got adjusted with my net loss 5,530. Earlier it was net profit 4,000 some 370 or something. Now my net loss has become 5,530. Accordingly, if you go to your books under current assets, you will no more see Balaji Agencies. It's 0. This account has become 0. Is that clear? So was this easy compared to what we did yesterday? So we have passed the same entries using single entry mode. So which is easier, single entry mode or double entry mode? Any questions before we move to next? If there are any questions, please unmute and ask. Okay, so I'll give 30 seconds time. Okay, if you have any questions, please either put on chat or unmute.
Excuse me, sir. Gautam here.
Yeah, Gautam, please tell me.
Sir, in my computer, it's not automatically calculating tax, sir, during purchases and returns.
During purchase and returns. Okay, I'll tell you, just go through this. For what, debit note or credit note? For which it's not?
For everything, sir. Debit note, credit note, and even
Debit
purchases.
note and credit note. Okay, so just look at here. I'll tell you where you would have gone wrong.
Okay.
One is go to your alteration screen,
Okay.
ledgers, your input CGST or 6% or 9%, whatever you have created. Open that and see whether have you given this percentage.
Yes, sir.
You have given that percentage?
Yes.
Okay. Next, do one more thing. Say example, sales return. If you are doing a credit note, open the sales return ledger, go to GST applicable, make it as yes, and check whether have you given 18% over here in this example.
No, sir. I'll make that
That's the
change.
reason. That's the reason it's not able to understand what against which value it has to calculate.
Okay, okay, sir. I'll make that change. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Hope all of you are clear on this. Okay. Narendra, when I enter sales, the tax calculation is not calculating even for sales. Narendra, you need to check, go and cross check your sales ledger as to have you given the percentage here, GST applicable, have you specified the percentage? Please check over here. That might be the reason. You have given? Then you need to check at output CGST and output SGST, have you given the percentages or not? Only these two might be the reasons for which it's not calculating. Okay, so we'll move on. So now we have done some 11 entries covering all kinds of transactions. Okay, so now this very critical thing is, how do I get this output? How do I print these things? Right? So now first let us go from the first and the foremost thing everyone requires is, how do I print my sale invoice? All right, how does it look like? Because in GST now you need to charge the GST, you need to show various things. What is the HSN code, various things that they are asking for. So let me go to the sale invoice. When you are making as an invoice, okay, and print. So shortcut key for print is Control P. Any report on Tally, any transaction on Tally, if you want to print, shortcut key is Control P, or on the top you have print menu. You could go on print menu, click on current, and you could click on show preview. It is showing you the preview how the invoice is printing. Okay, I could even zoom this. So it is tax invoice from Meda Consultancy Services address, everything to Balaji Agencies. His address is not mentioned, but his GST is available. Invoice number 1, 2nd of April. Local sales. There is an HSN code detailing. Quantity is not available. Amount. Taxable value. What is the CGST? What is the SGST? And what is the amount? Total amount. And this is your HSN summary wise details. See this, since we are not using any inventory, okay, it is not showing any inventory. Now you could do lot more configuration on this. Say example, I don't want CGST, SGST as column. I don't want quantity as a column. Okay, I want it to be much more simpler. So what I could do is I could click on configure and say what I don't need. Say example, I don't need quantity. I can go to quantity and click on enter, it becomes no. Yes or no? Okay, I don't need rate. Okay. So you could just go on like that. So there are various things. Okay, or you could even type. Say example, I don't want GST tax rate. GST item wise details I don't require. I could just say no. Show HSN is required. HSN analysis is required. E-way bill, okay, LUD details, tax invoice. Okay, so similarly, you could go on checking what you need and what you don't need. Okay, bank details, yes, required. Which bank? I require State Bank of India to be printed. Account holder's name, SWIFT details, transaction details, GST number, PAN number, do you need or not? All those things you can go and say yes or no based on your requirement. Okay. Now Control A for save. Now look at preview. It has changed. The layout has completely changed. Zoom it. See here. Same, the top details are the same. Now lot of columns were there. I have told a lot of columns. I don't need all those things. It is just showing me what is the HSN code, what is the value, how much of tax is charged. Okay, and it is also showing me my bank details. Bank details is also shown. Okay, so this is one way of getting the invoice. You could print this. So since you are looking on the screen, if you are happy with it, you could just configure and click on print, it will print. While printing, okay, if you need multiple copies, you could go to configure and click on type number of copies. Here it is showing number of copies as 1. Make the changes. Say example, I need 2 copies. Okay, and say all. Okay. Now if you go to preview, see here when you zoom it, on the top it's saying original for recipient. Okay, then you have second copy, duplicate for supplier. Similarly, if it is goods, you could have duplicate for transporter, triplicate for supplier, 4th copy is extra copy, any of the things that you could get. Right? Okay. Next is, I don't want to print this, but I want to export. Export is also possible. On the top, you have export menu. You could click on this, or shortcut keys, Control E for export. For example, I want to export this. Click on export, click on current. Okay, again, if you want to change the configurations, change the configuration, whichever the configurations that you want to change. Okay, now I want it in PDF format. Okay, so default it is showing in Excel format. File format is Excel. I want it in PDF format. So what you could do is you could just click here, file format, change it to PDF. Okay, then file name. So it is taking to your Tally Prime export files. That is what you have mentioned. Okay. So you could, even if you want to change the path, you could just click on export to local drive or FTP server or web. You could specify that. You could change the paths if you require. Okay. File name 001 tax invoice. Click on export E. Now it has got exported to your PDF format. See here. This is on your PDF. Is it simple enough? Now you could take this, email it, do whatever you want, or you could also directly email. Now I want to email this. I don't even want to convert it to an file. I want to directly mail. You could click on Control M, or you have mail. Click on this. If you have configured, you need to have configurations done. Okay. Let me just check to whom you want to mail. So it is also showing you all the email IDs which is popping up from the ledger. Okay. Or if you want, it's on a new email, you could just click on new and say manish.gmail.com. Okay. CC, if you want to give CC, you could specify subject, whatever the mail that you want, subject you could give, body of the message, whatever you want, you could specify that. Okay, and click on M, or if you want to do configurations, you could do that. So it's going in HTML format. If you want to change the format, you could again go and change the format, whichever format that you want. Okay, and click on mail. Okay, if the configurations are correct, it will automatically go. Let me just check. I'm not sure. Okay, configurations might not be proper. Let me just check over here. Okay, it is trying to send a mail. Okay. Email cannot be sent. Click F1 for help. So there is some issue. Okay, so if you want to go and check where the problem is, you could go to troubleshoot, event log. So there is no event log. I need to check. Okay, this I will do some check, and by tomorrow I'll show it to you. In the next session, I'll show it to you. Okay, similarly, you want to print purchase bill, you could just go click on Control P, print, preview. It will just show you the purchase bill. It's on a simple format. You want, you could change the format also. Purchase voucher, Meda Consultancy, Kotari, from Kotari, his GST number, local purchases, input CGST, input SGST. Okay. Or you want to print a payment voucher. I made a payment voucher to Kotari. Now I want to print this. Again, click on Control P. Which format you want, you could specify. See the preview. This is how it is coming. Payment voucher. It's in the simple format, and you could also take with the receiver signature. So it shows the payment voucher dated 2nd May, paid to Kotari Electronics against invoice number 072 50,400 through State Bank of India. Okay, you want additional details to be added, you could add. Yes, Narendra, you had any question?
Sir, one doubt.
Yeah.
We do not maintain the inventory.
Okay.
We are using as a account this one only.
Correct.
Can we, because we are having, like the quantity to be mentioned in the invoice, can we do something on that?
No, you have to maintain inventory if you want to mention quantity. There is no other choice.
Okay, fine, sir.
Okay. So this is simple format. If you want to change the configurations, you could go click on change the configuration and specify what are all the configurations you want. Payment mode on the top. You want payment mode on the top, you enable that. You want payment advice, enable. Okay, now it will print in the advice format. Include bill details, yes. Print due dates, yes. Contact details. Example, I'm just showing you. Okay. Now, if you look at, see here, the payment format has completely changed. Now it has become like a payment advice. Okay, so generally this is how we prepare when a supplier comes to collect the payment, we take his signature and give the check, right? And this is, you could just print directly from Tally. Okay, similarly, you want to print any transaction, say example, you want to print credit note with whatever the configurations that you want. So header, you could change it as credit note. You want to change that from tax invoice to credit note. It is very simple. Title, click on title, change it to credit note. So it has changed the title to credit note. Sales returns 10,000 rupees to Balaji agencies. On that, output tax has got reversed. Hope this is clear. So whatever transactions that you have done, okay, you want to print receipt. Similarly, you could print receipt also. Okay, and as I showed you, you could even export all these things. Okay, so output from Tally is very simple. So now example, I'm on this report, all the transactions are there. Now I want this report on Excel. It's not a transaction, it's not a invoice or voucher printing, a report printing. And if you want it on Excel to further dwell upon that report, again you could click on export, current. Okay, in which format you need? Currently it's in PDF format. Change the file format to Excel. Okay, and export. Just click on E. Now it is converting this report to an Excel file, and you will be able to open this report on Excel. It is just taking some few seconds. Okay, so it has just opened Excel. Yeah. So the same daybook, whatever you are seeing here in Tally, is available on your Excel. Now further, you could use this data to further process, do your own reporting and various things. Or you want to, so it supports all formats. Say example, once when you click on print, once when you click on export, okay, file format, it supports all this format: ASCII, Excel, HTML, JPEG, it's an image. You don't want anyone to change it, you could just convert it to an image, PDF, read-only format, XML, data exchanger. Okay, so in any of this format, say example, you want to convert to JPEG, export. Okay, so it's available. It didn't open because it was not able to recognize to which format it has to open. Okay, so let me just take it. Tally Prime export file. So this is where it is stored. This is the daybook. This is the one, right? So these are stored in JPEG format. Is it clear? Okay, so similarly, whichever report is available, say like example, various reports that will be available. We were just talking only about daybook, profit and loss, balance sheet, and trial balance. Okay, let me show you some few more reports that you could actually look at. If you go to display more reports, you will get lot more reports. Okay, say example, you want to see the cash flow statement. click on cash flow. So it is saying for the month of April, 10 lakh rupees is the inflow, there is no outflow. But in month of May, there is 70,800 inflow and 74,000 rupees of outflow. So this is your cash flow movement. And currently the net cash flow for May is minus because you have spent more than what you have received in the month of May. Varun has a question. He is asking, how do we transfer transfer sale and purchase data in Excel to Tally without re-entry? See, in Tally, you can export the data from Tally to Excel, but you cannot import the data from Excel to Tally. Import is not available. What you are asking is importing the data from Excel to Tally. That is not default available. If you need that, we need to customize Tally looking at your Excel report, in which form it is available, whether all required data is available or not. Based on that, we need to write an additional program, write an integration program and do this import. Yes, it is possible, but it is not available on default Tally, standard Tally. This requires an additional development efforts, which will cost additionally. Okay, thank you. Yeah. So here, if you are looking at the cash flow statement.
I have one more question.
Yes, Narendra.
If I put here actually my enter data in the Tally, can my auditor can see? If
you can give him an access to all your auditors to see the data.
When you give an access means, is it actually cloud computing, something like that, or how it will be?
It supports everything. It supports cloud computing. It supports, you could just take a backup and send it on an email to him.
Okay.
It will be a copy of the data he could see.
Okay.
Or you could configure him on your database itself, where your system will be connected to internet and he can access your data which is on your desktop.
Oh, okay.
Cloud computing is also enabled.
Because if I enter entering data, he can able to pull out the data and he can do all payments of GST, everything he can do.
Yes. Possible.
Thank you.
Yeah. That we will demonstrate.
Yeah.
In our complete training, we'll demonstrate that also, how to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And when you go to accounts book, further reports, there are a lot more registers. So you have a cash and bank report, cash and bank account. It will show all the bank details and the cash balances that you have. Further, you could drill down, go up to entry level. Okay, and you can escape, come back one level more and see other reports. You could go to ledger and say which ledger you want to view. Say example, Kotari Electronics. So for which period to which period? Okay, so it is showing all the transactions and what is the opening balance, closing balance. You could also have a monthly summary. It will also show you the monthly summary. And any report that you are seeing on the screen, you could just click on print to print it, or you could just click on export to export it. Okay, or you could click on email to mail it. All the options are available. Okay, similarly, you have all the registers, contra register, payment register, receipt register, sales register, purchase register. Say example, sales register. I have only one transaction. Okay, so this is the one. And you could also look at the columnar register. On the right hand side, you have an option for column. Okay, you could select which fields you need. Yes, no options are available. Okay, you could specify which are all the fields that you need and take this report on a columnar basis. So there are 12 more columns, right? So this columnar is available. You could extract this to Excel and do further analysis also. Okay, and one more thing on your sales register. Okay, one beauty of this sales register is you have an option called show profit. Click on this show profit it will actually tell you what is the percentage of profit you did. Okay, and this will work wonders if you are even maintaining inventory. Since you are not maintaining inventory, it's not able to link to which purchases it has to link, so it is showing you 100% profit. But if you are maintaining inventory, then it will actually track what was the cost of the inventory, cost of the purchases, and cost of the sales, and it will actually tell you what is the margin, percentage margin that you are making out of this transaction. Okay. So any questions on this? Today we discussed on how simplified data entry that you could do, the vouchers that you could do, and what are all the outputs that you could take. So these are the two topics that we discussed. Are there any questions? Because I'm through with my this thing presentation. If there are any questions, I would like to take. Okay, as every day, I request each one of you, okay, just record 1 or 2 minutes video on your mobile and share it on the WhatsApp group, letting know your experience. Okay, how was your experience? Okay, what improvements that you would like us to do, so that we will correct all those things and come back to you tomorrow with all those improvements. Okay, so I seriously request each one of you, please do a 1 to 2 minutes video and share it on the group. Okay. So is there anyone who would like to share? No voice.
Sir,
Yeah.
hello, sir.
Yes, yes, Narendra.
Sir, this is for only for proprietorship you are teaching, no, sir?
No. This will be for partnerships. This will be for companies. Everyone.
Okay,
Because
for companies.
Your accounting doesn't change whether it is proprietary or this thing.
What I meant was for company and all the share capital, all those things will come, no?
No, it is
So
just under
thinking
capital.
of that.
Yeah, under capital, we need to just create one more share capital. That's all.
Okay.
But accounting is accounting. It remains.
Yeah, that I'm aware. I just thought of about this share capital.
Yeah, we could do that. We could take
Okay,
those
sir.
examples and do it.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Narendra.
Thank you, Mahesh.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
thanks,
Good night.
Bijoy. Good night.
Good night.
Okay, so if anyone has questions, I am there on this call for next 2 minutes. Whoever has the questions, you could unmute and ask, or you could put it on chat. Or if you do not have any questions, it's okay. You could log off. Thanks. Tomorrow again, we'll connect at 7 o'clock.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mahesh, I'll be trying to enter the data which the dummy data which you had given.
Yeah.
And if I need any support, is it possible that I can get any support?
Yeah. So on the screen, you have the number. You could just note down this number, call that.
Yeah, it is landline number, right?
Don't call landline number. Okay, landline number, if you are calling after 11, someone will be available.
Okay.
Or you could take that left side mobile number is available.
911, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me try.
Or you could call me anytime. That should not be a problem.
Okay, thank you. I don't want to trouble you.
And not an issue.
Okay, I'll try.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye. You take care.
Thanks. Bye. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Manish.